You're welcome to Reproductive Health segment with Dr. Ajayi, and my name is Dr. ABAYOMI Ajayi. I promised you that we're going to continue the discussion we were having last week with Esther ODIETE. We were talking about coping while waiting. She went on to describe for us how some of the things that are involved that you can make you to cope or overcome infertility. I mean, why to still wait? Either you want to have your treatment or you're on treatment, but while you're waiting. So I think we just start from there, Esther. Can you just continue where you stopped last week?
Okay. Another point again on how to cope while waiting is to build a support system for yourself. A lot of individuals, they have this unconscious expectation that all their emotional needs could be handled by their partner. And they don't have any other place to fall back to. It's just their partner. So it is good for them to build a support system. And that could be outside your spouse. You can have a network of friends that are within or without the infertility world. And by the time you build that kind of support network, it will also be able to help you. That's where we have the support group and all that in place. You can have...
Hold on here. I think I need to pause you here because we need to let people understand what you're saying. Are you talking of an individual as your support system or a group?
Okay, it's both ways. You can build a support system as an individual. That if I am down, this is what I can do to help me and not just fall on my spouse. Then, for that of a group, you can also fall back to the support group, where you are not the only one that has that challenge. You are meeting with other people that have same challenge. So if you can be able to build that support system, it will help also to take the load off a bit your spouse. Okay, another thing again is to identify your own coping mechanism in relation to what I said earlier. You can identify yours and identify that of your spouse, so that if you feel any way, you know that you are doing the right thing. It's just that both of you are different. So that's why you are feeling the way you are feeling. It's normal. It's not something that's wrong. So if you can be able to identify how to cope with stress in other aspects of your life, you can also bring it to this challenge of infertility.
So I want you to be a little bit detailed about these things, giving us examples so that we understand exactly what you're saying. Because what you've just said is a very important thing. I hear all the time, my husband doesn't care about infertility. Okay, if I get from you now, sometimes the guy cares. He has his own coping mechanism. And that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
It may be right or wrong, but that's what you're saying. Okay? So, but you should also identify your own coping mechanism, and your spouse should also know that, so that when you are in that gear, your spouse can understand that, oh, yeah, this is a no-go area for me.
Okay, what you said now will lead me to the next point.
Okay.
Like creating a breathing room for one another. Because the lady might be talking about this infertility issue at every point. But there are times the man might not even want to say anything about it. So if you can be able to understand that he needs space, give him that space. That could be his own way of coping. Yours could be, okay, you want to talk about it or you just want to cry about it. So your spouse also should understand you so that you'll be able to handle the issue in a perfect way, so that no one will step on the other person's toes. Because by the time you keep talking, and at that point he doesn't want to talk, he can just snap and there will be a problem in the marriage. So if you can be able to create that breathing space for one another, it will also help in this whole process. Okay, another thing again is communicating the positives. It is a vital way of coping while waiting. Majority of clients that I've seen is just negative, that, oh, I've tried for 10 years, nothing has happened. Is it this time around I want to try that it will happen? And you keep bugging your partner about those negative. it's good for you to talk more about the positive. And whenever you're talking about infertility, put a time limit to it. It's not in the morning you're talking about it, in the afternoon you're talking about, in the evening you're talking about it. It's not right. Just put a time limit. If it's 30 minutes, even in a week that I want to talk about it, let it just be that, so that you'll be able to help one another in this whole process as well. Another point again is to keep a sense of humor. This is lacking in many relationships. Really. Because I see a lot of them, they come in, their faces alone will tell you that. A sense of humor is far from this. We know it's something that's very, very emotional. You are pained, but it shouldn't just destroy the relationship. When last did you laugh as a couple? Even as an individual, you can just crack some jokes and you laugh. You can do it on your own, you can do it as well with your spouse. You can go, we have a lot of programs all over the place that you just go and listen to jokes and you laugh. It's also another way of coping. If you can help yourself in that aspect, it will do a whole lot of good while you're coping. Another thing again is to seek help before whatever challenge you are going through outside infertility, because now infertility has resulted to so many other things. Before the problem becomes big, seek help. Some people, they'll just be, oh, okay, it will change, and you're not seeing any change coming forth. It is advisable that you seek professional help before things go out of hand, because your partner might not realize that he or she is hurting you at that particular time. But if you are able to seek help and, like with a counselor, and you talk things through, you'll be able to cope as well. Okay?
Yeah, well, this seeking help, you know, this is one important thing that we also need to look at. Because, you know, Nigerians believe that they are strong people. That talking about your emotions, especially men, is a sign of weakness. And so most of the time they say, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. Meanwhile, it's obvious that they're not okay.
They're not.
So how can we help people like this?
Okay. One thing is this. It's also left for the individual to come out, to seek for that help. Because if they don't really come out, there is no way we can help them out. And by the time we are able to explore their feelings, we'll be able to know that there is something wrong somewhere, and we have to deal with that.
Okay, well, I think we'll just make your last... I think I can see you still have one thing that you want to talk about.
Okay.
Just talk about it very fast.
On a final note is yourself as an individual, take care of yourself. It also helps to cope. Don't, like ladies, don't make yourself look shabby. Although both the lady and the male in question, don't make yourself look shabby and all that just because you have a challenge. Take care of yourself and look bright at every time and keep on smiling.
Thank you very much, Esther. It's been wonderful listening to you. I hope you've learned also from Esther. I'm sure we'll bring her again to on the program sometime soon. So it's on this point that we wind the curtains for today, and we'll see you next week. Thank you very much.